I'd like to call the reorganizational meeting of the Orange Township Board of Trustees to order. It is Wednesday, January the 8th, and the time is now 3 o'clock. At this time, I would like to call roll. Trustee Erica Faust.
Here.
Trustee Lisa Knapp.
Here.
And Trustee Mike Ringel.
Here.
Thank you. Also available, Township Administrator Michelle Bonney, Administrative Manager Valerie Bunting, Fire Chief Nathan McNeil, Director of Operations Dennis Bowers, Senior Human Resources Manager Mike Menzener. Sorry, guys. I am so sorry. Development and Zoning Director Robin Duffy, and Sydney Herbert, the Communication and Special Events Manager. At this time, I would like to, for all of us to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. First item on today's agenda would be our organizational business. And at this time, I ask for nominations for chair and vice chair of the Board of Trustees.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Ringel for chair.
I'd like to, I can't nominate myself. Second.
Roll call. Trustee Knapp.
Yes.
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringel.
Yes.
Okay, and at this point in time, I will take nominations for vice chair of the Orange Township Board of Trustees.
I'd like to nominate Ms. Faust for vice chair.
And I'll second that.
Roll call. Trustee Knapp.
Yes.
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringel.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Board. I'd like to turn the rest of the meeting over to Chair Trustee Mike Ringel.
And just to clarify, those were resolutions 1 and 2.
Oh, I am so sorry. Yes, that is correct. Yes.
So I think the first item on our agenda, beyond the election of the officers, is the holiday light fight winners.
Yes, and I have that. So this year we had 11 homes participate in our light fight, so we were excited for that level of participation. And we have 4 winners, 4 different categories. This year we started something new in that we had sponsorships for the winners. So in addition to the really cool sign in front of your yard, there's also, depending on who your sponsor was, a gift that goes along with that. So for our Kids' Choice winner, which was sponsored by Team HBC, which is Chrissy Hagan, one of our resident realtors, was house number 4, Brian and Jessica Gartland. For the People's Choice Award, also sponsored by Team HBC, is house number 6, Darylyn Clifton. The Trustees' Choice Award was sponsored by Evans Farms. That is house number 2, Mike and Connie Simmons. And the Griswold Award, which is sponsored by Big B Coffee, was house number 9, which is Brad and Hanan Prim. I know that a number of our winners are here today. Thank you, everyone, for all the work that you put into making your homes beautiful and fun and exciting for the community to go out and participate in that, holiday Christmas fun. I know our family always enjoys going and driving around and seeing everybody. So I don't know if we want to do photos.
Yeah.
Now?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So if you guys are here, there's some prizes right there. And the other ones are back here. Okay, so Cindy, can you orchestrate the prizing and all that and tell us what to do?
Which one is that one?
So this is that one.
Where's the orange today? Oh, it's
Upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot we don't have the orange backdrop here. The orange backdrop is upstairs. Okay.
Next item on our agenda are general announcements. Are there other general announcements?
I have a couple. So SourcePoint has dropped off a number of their services directory for 2022 to 2026. It's a nice, significant book here. So if we have any of our 55 and older community who is the target audience for SourcePoint and they would like to grab a couple, we have some here. So feel free to stop in and pick up a copy of that. And also just, we'll talk about CVB stuff a little bit later, but we did want to formally thank, JD Hartwell had been on our community volunteer board for, I believe, a total of 6 years. So we have just a little certificate to give him for his achievement in faithfully serving the residents of Orange Township from 2017 to 2014. And thank you, JD, for all the time and love and care and help that you've given us as a community. That was all I had.
I have nothing.
I'll just add, and I think we were going to touch on this later in the agenda, but that we do have a special board meeting coming up on Monday, January 13th at 5 p.m. That's to discuss a potential replacement or relocation of our Fire Station 362. So the board will be meeting here to discuss that, and then the Fire Station 362 will be open afterwards for any residents that are interested in taking a tour of the facility.
And what's the purpose of that meeting? Like, what will go on at the meeting?
I believe we will be presenting potential plans for a new fire station and talking about potential financing options.
Okay, and we'll be answering questions from the public if they have any, or
Yes,
right,
yeah.
things like that. It'll be like an interactive meeting, right? Versus this.
It
Is
can
that
be.
right, Michelle? Okay, all right.
No.
Yeah, the chief will have a presentation to, how we got to where we are today with the station. We have some financing options to share, and then the open house, and we can keep it, informal and back and forth dialogue for whoever is able to attend.
And how long will the fire station be open afterwards? Do we have a set
I
time?
think we're doing it for an hour. Yeah.
So is that 6 to 7? The open house, or just 5 to 6 is the whole thing?
No, it was after.
Okay, so at the conclusion of the meeting here at Township Hall, then we will, if anybody wants to go see Station 2,
Yes.
that's open.
How long does the meeting last? Do you think an hour?
We have it scheduled till 7.
Okay, and so it will be open till 7, the fire station. Okay.
Yes.
Are there any other general announcements? All right, the next agenda item we have is public comment. Is there any member of the public that would like to speak? Seeing none, the next agenda item is executive session. So I will make a motion to adopt Resolution 2503, enter into executive session for the purpose to conference with the township attorneys concerning a dispute that is the subject of imminent litigation pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G3.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp,
Yes?
trustee Faust.
Yes?
Trustee Ringel.
Yes. Invited to attend are the board, our fiscal officer, Ms. Batten, administrator, Michelle Bonney, our zoning director, Robin Duffy, and legal counsel. Make a motion to approve Resolution 2504, return to regular session.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringel.
Yes. Are there any agenda changes for today?
Yes, I do have one under new business. We wanted to update our designee for the Board of Trustees when it comes to our public records training. So I just put that at the bottom of the agenda to keep the numbers flowing.
Excellent.
That's it.
Okay, I believe the next agenda item is the establishing of our meeting schedule, or meeting notifications. So I will, did you?
Yeah, I just, we kept the same first and third Wednesdays at 3 o'clock. This is the only month that's different, just with the New Year's holiday, we did it the second and fourth Wednesday. But luckily, with all the other holidays scheduled this year, none of our meetings conflict, so everything is the first and third
And
Wednesday.
OTA is not a conflict either, because that's the end of this month.
Yeah, because our next meeting is the 22nd.
Okay, and then OTA is
Mhm.
next week. Okay.
Any other discussion on the proposed schedule?
No, I'm good with it.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve Resolution 2505 in the matter of establishing a reasonable method whereby the public may determine the time and place of all regularly scheduled meetings of the board and the time, place, and purpose of all special and emergency meetings of the board.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringel.
Yes. All right, the next item on our agenda is an appointment to the member of the General Health Advisory Council, and I believe trustee Knapp has said that she's willing to continue serving on that
Yeah,
council?
if you don't mind.
Yes.
I enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for doing so. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve Resolution 2506, appoint Lisa Knapp as a member to the General Health Advisory Council.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringel.
Yes. The next agenda item is our appointments to the Regional Planning Commission. Let's see, we have proposed Mr. Duffy and Mr. Gaetsky. Presumably, you're both still willing to serve? Excellent. Any other discussion on those points?
No, on the prior one, could we just put Delaware County General Health Advisory Council on the prior motion?
Yes.
Just to,
I'll amend that.
just to make sure, is that okay? To be specific, okay. And I have no problem with that. Do we have to vote on that, or that's just a clarification?
I think
Okay, all right.
clarification's
I
fine.
don't have any problems with Robin either.
Great.
No problems. Not today.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2507, appoint Robin Duffy as Regional Planning Representative.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringel.
Yes. Also make a motion to approve Resolution 2508, appoint Eric Gaetsky as Regional Planning Alternate Representative.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringel.
Yes. The next agenda item is our appointment to the Delaware County Tax Incentive Review Council. If the board is interested, I am still willing to serve as a representative along with, I believe, Michelle. Are you still willing to serve?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Any
that would be
discussion?
great. That would be great.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2509, appoint Michael Ringel and Michelle Bonney as the township's members of the Delaware County Tax Incentive Review Council.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringel.
Yes. Our next appointment is to the Records Commission. Let's see here.
That's you.
It's pretty standard that the chair and the fiscal officer, administrator are part of that records commission, so we just kept it consistent for your proposal today.
Should I modify the title of the resolution to appoint those particular individuals?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Sure.
All right, so any other discussion on the Records Commission? Okay, hearing none. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2510, appointing the chair of the Board of Trustees, the Township Fiscal Officer, and Township Administrator to serve as appointees to the Records Commission.
Second?
Roll call. Excuse me. Trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringo.
Yes. The next resolution establishes our township business office hours. Any discussion on that point?
I'm good with it.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2511, business office hours.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringo.
Yes, and to clarify on that point, that is 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday, except for legal holidays and other announced closures. The next agenda item is to approve a potential auction service for emergency preparedness equipment. Is there any discussion on that point?
Yeah, and this is, I'm sorry, Trustee Ringel, just to interject a little bit. So this is annually, we always do the GovDeals auction site, so that is our primary website we use for any obsolete or items that we no longer need here. And then we wanted to add a specific auction site for fire equipment and apparatus that is through Brindley Martin. So our legal counsel combined the resolutions to show that we use both of these auction sites for the future.
Sounds
Any
good.
additional questions? And thank you to our fire department for looking into additional auction services so we can get the most for our used equipment. So I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2512, intent to sell by internet auction personal property, including motor vehicles, road machinery, equipment, tools, or supplies that is not needed for public use, is obsolete, or is unfit for the use for which it was acquired.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringo.
Yes. Right, I believe our next agenda item is adopting new mileage rates. Any discussion on that agenda item?
No.
No.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2513, 2025 mileage rates.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringo.
Yes. Next agenda item is to adopt our pay period schedules. Any discussion on that point?
No.
Hearing none, I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 2514, 2025 pay period schedule.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringo.
Yes. Next agenda item is to adopt our paid holidays for 2025 per our employee handbook. Any discussion?
No.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2515, employee paid holidays 2025.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust.
Yes.
Trustee Ringo.
Yes. The next agenda item is to approve the township's fee schedule for 2025. Is there any discussion on that point?
I'll just share the only changes we made. There were a few that I believe are highlighted in the fee schedule, in the fire department's schedule, and that's specifically regarding our mechanic fees, and that just reflects the cost of materials and labor, that we did a slight increase for that. And then we also added our fee schedule for events purposes, so the Founders Day registration and the 4th of July registrations are now reflected in our master fee schedule. Is there anything I'm missing? Okay.
Should we call it the master fee schedule? Does it have a name, or is it just fee schedule? It's every single fee, right?
Yeah, I mean, either way.
I would say maybe master fee schedule, so we know that's for everything and not zoning. Or
Yeah, like
something.
Orange Township's master fee schedule
Yeah.
or something. Okay.
If that, something.
And just to reiterate to the community, we had done kind of a pretty deep dive last year, getting everything where it should be. So this year we don't have to do anything with pools or cemeteries or zoning or any of that kind of stuff. So no increase in fees. Yes.
Yes.
All right, I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2516 to accept Orange Township fee schedule for 2025.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes.
And we're going to call it the master
Master fee
fee
schedule.
scheduler.
Next agenda item are reallocations. Fiscal Officer Batten, would you like to speak to those? And the supplemental appropriations?
Yeah. Reallocations, these are the supplementals needed to move money within a certain fund. Do you guys have any questions?
I have
It's just
none.
normal, normal budget items.
Really, the next three are.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any discussions in general on reallocation, supplemental appropriations, or advancing real estate taxes?
No, we do those every year, right?
Yes.
Same ones?
Yes,
Okay,
that is correct.
So I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2517, reallocations.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2518, supplemental appropriations.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2519, request for advance of real estate tax collections.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. Then the next agenda item is our consent agenda. Are there any questions about the consent agenda?
I have none.
Nope.
All right. I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes Resolution 2520, approving the electronic record of the proceedings from the regular meeting held on December 18th, 2024, along with Resolution 2521, approving purchase orders, then and now purchase orders, and blanket purchase orders as listed.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. I believe our next agenda item is our development and zoning report. Mr. Duffy.
Good afternoon, trustees. We will kick off our first zoning hearings and meetings report of 2025, and then we do have one resolution for you as well to schedule a public hearing. We did have a zoning commission meeting yesterday evening on January 7th at 6:30 p.m. for organizational purposes, and then a continuation of the proposed EPCON Communities amendment for Evans Farm there off of South Old State. The zoning commission did recommend approval of that application by a 4-1 vote, so that is the resolution that we have before you to schedule that hearing within 30 days.
And Robin, is the graphic that's shown on the report, is that the new?
That is the
design?
updated site plan, yes. We do have a hearing here in just over an hour at 5 p.m. On Wednesday, January 8th for rezoning application 24-07 for the proposed Vision Acquisitions amendment of the development plan to allow for the construction of 196 multifamily units. 1 hour and 12 minutes by my count.
But who's counting?
A lot of people are eagerly awaiting a zoning hearing. We do have a zoning commission meeting scheduled for next week, Tuesday, January 14th at 6:30 p.m. That is rezoning application ZON-24-09. That is for the amendment to the PC district over at 3812 East Powell Road to amend that development plan to allow for the operation of a marijuana dispensary and to allow for commercial and office uses on that site. It's not reflected on the written report, but we will be scheduling an additional zoning commission meeting for January 28th. We'll bring in Julie Donovan, our legal counsel, to do some training with the zoning commission members and then also continue our discussion on our zoning code update. We do also have a Board of Zoning Appeals meeting scheduled for Thursday, January 16th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Here in this room. They will cover organizational items, and then they have a few variances and conditional use application for Nissan North. They are redoing their branding, updating a lot of their signs. So they are asking for several variances as well as conditional uses. When you see it on paper, it looks like a lot, but they're actually decreasing some of their nonconformities. But happy to go over with that with you in more detail if you so choose. I believe that since that's the only agenda item on that evening's meeting, we will also call in our legal counsel for that evening and do a training with our Board of Zoning Appeals members as well. The only other item on the report is the still tabled Route 23 application for Parkway Plaza. I do not have any updates on that at this time. So again, we have the one resolution before you for your consideration to schedule public hearing for rezoning application 24-08. That must be scheduled within 30 days of today, so that would be February 8th would be the latest that we could hold that.
Do you guys want to do it on the 5th after, at 5?
What about the 22nd? I don't have a huge preference, but,
We were
The
speaking.
22nd will be pushing it with notices.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Second time Scott meeting.
Yeah, 5th, that should be fine. At 5, yeah,
So the 5th is okay?
that worked, yeah.
Okay.
What time?
5.
Okay.
Sorry. Do you foresee the trustee meeting being overly long that you know of at this point? No clue?
We will do our best to keep it under 2 hours.
Sorry, making a note. Okay. I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2522, schedule hearing date for zoning application 2408, Epcon Evans Farm for February 5th, Wednesday, February 5th at 5 p.m.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes.
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Duffy.
Thank you.
Next is our operations report. Mr. Bowers?
Thank you, Trustee Ringle. First item for operations today is accepting of a recreational trail grant agreement between the County Board of Commissioners and Orange. We were grateful and fortunate to receive some funding from the County Commissioners in an amount of $87,500, which will go towards a portion of the Bale Canyon project, specifically the trail that will be installed on the west side of the road. So would like to recommend to the board to accept that agreement. We did work with them to push the completion date of that project back to better conform the goals of the grant. The next two resolutions you'll see are both related to the Bale Canyon project. These are ORC items that are required by the township to essentially have a resolution to authorize the construction and authorize the movement of that project per the county engineer's recommendation. So there's a notice of public improvement that needs a resolution, as well as the resolution of necessity to notify everyone that the board would like to move forward with the public road improvement.
Can you remind us where this portion of the road construction starts and ends?
Yes, ma'am. Phase 2 of the Bale Canyon project begins at East Powell Road and terminates just north of Pine Ridge Drive.
So it encompasses Pine Ridge Drive?
Yes.
In the construction, okay. And we're excited to get this project moving forward at this point, so.
Yeah, and upon passing of these two resolutions, potentially our next board meeting, there'll be more information for the Bale Canyon project that we can share with the community.
Fantastic.
That's great.
They ask frequently.
Yes.
So we're excited to be able
That's
to
a huge
maybe give them
piece.
some information.
Yes.
And thank you to the commissioners for that grant for Bale Canyon, that's great. So we appreciate that partnership.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2523, accepting the recreational trail grant agreement between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners and the Orange Township Board of Trustees.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2524, authorizing the construction, reconstruction, resurfacing, or improvement of roads within Orange Township.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2525, providing a notice of public improvement for Bale Canyon Road widening project within Orange Township.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. And I believe we're now on to our fire report. So, thank you, Mr. Bowers. Chief?
Good afternoon, Board. So fortunately, I have
bringing you a couple names that are leaving us. One individual who's resigning is Brad Belleville. He's been with the fire department for over 12 years now. He's accepted a job up north as a battalion chief, so he got a promotion, moving up. So we're excited for him and wish him the best and thankful for everything that he's done for our department. And then the next one is, it says regretfully accept, but also it's, I guess, a good thing too. After 25 years, Lieutenant Dave Martin is now retiring, and we just had a little lunch with him before we came over here. And so he's been here, he got here, started full-time in November 3rd of '99, and he lives pretty close to West Virginia. So he's driven over 33,000 miles to get to work in the past 25 years. He was talking about some of the accidents he received and different, or not accidents, but running over a tire and some funny stories during his drive. So realizing that he was driving pretty much 2 hours every third day was interesting. So a lot of good stories he shared with some of our younger individuals. So it was a good lunch, and we hate to see him go. He's done a lot of good for the department, and we're going to miss him. But we're looking forward to. He's not retiring. He is working full time back at where he lives. So he's going to continue in the fire service, and then we'll eventually he'll probably retire and then find another fire job and retire again. So that's usually how it goes. But in saying that, we did do in July, we did interviews where we did hire 3 individuals that they started with us in September. So we had individuals that were still on the list to be considered for hiring. So we reached out. Unfortunately, we had 2 individuals. One individual could not accept because of some personal stuff going on in their life. So we're going to do interviews to fill in the one position that we're losing. So we're going to be doing interviews here, and actually Sydney's posting on that we'll be conducting interviews here shortly. But we do have an individual that who I'd like to put in front of you today for consideration, and it's Joshua Hagan. I know that last name sounds a little familiar, but he is, I sat down with him, and he is very excited. In fact, one thing noted on all 5 committee members was that he has wanted to be an Orange Township firefighter since he was a little kid. He lives in the community, and I don't know, his dad might be hearing this somewhere, but might be back there. But we are excited to put Josh Hagan forward for consideration to be hired as a full-time firefighter paramedic.
And his mom also serves on our community volunteer board, so she's a known entity in the township, and so we're super excited for their family and for Josh exciting to have him as part of our team. Congratulations to Lieutenant Martin on his 25 years of work with the township, and driving from West Virginia every third day is a real sacrifice. So thank you for sacrificing your time for our community and for our residents. We appreciate that. And we're excited for Firefighter Belleville's promotion to battalion chief at his next opportunity. So that's very exciting. Lots of exciting things.
Yeah, and my youngest son actually grew up with Josh Hagan, Joshy as we knew him back then. I have to change it to Josh now. So yeah, congratulations to him too. That's great. It's a good kid.
All right, I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2526, regretfully accept resignation of full-time firefighter paramedic Brad Belleville.
Second. You're out of order.
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes.
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringel?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2527, regretfully accept the retirement of Lieutenant David Martin.
Who got that last one, Donna?
Erica got the last one.
Right.
Okay, second.
Yes, split second.
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes.
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringel?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2528, appoint to position of full-time firefighter paramedic Joshua Hagan.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Knapp?
Yes.
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringel?
Yes. Thank you, Chief. I believe our next agenda item is our fiscal office report.
Good afternoon, Board. First item on the agenda is a liquor license request. This is a new liquor license for Bento's Lunch located at 1282 East Powell Road. And I just asked, do you wish to hold a hearing, or do you wish not to hold a hearing on this?
No hearing.
No
No hearing? Wonderful. Thank you very much for that. Our second item is it's a discussion item that has just most recently come up with regards to our current Orange Township road levy. And at this time, I would also ask that Silas also chime in and help me along with this one. Just a little bit of history here. Our current road levy is collecting at 0.5 mils, which brings in an annual revenue of roughly about $688,000 a year. This levy was voted in, excuse me, 2022, and we will be collected through 26, receive monies through 2027. It is my understanding that we are coming up short with regards to the current road improvement program that Silas, with maintaining the neighborhood roads. Am I correct in speaking? Did I get that right term?
Correct. Essentially, our needs and our funding don't match up where we'd like them to be. So there's a shortfall in roads that need maintained and resurfaced versus the revenue available to take care of those things.
Yeah. Currently, the township, we also have 3 other sources that help fund our township roads. We have the motor vehicle license tax fund. It roughly brings in about $85,000 in revenue. We have the gasoline tax fund, which brings in substantially more, roughly around $457,000 a year. And then the permissive vehicle licensing tax, pretty close to the gasoline, right around $433,000 a year. These funds are used for items beyond the maintenance of our roads, curbs, crack sealing, the mastic, road salt. Also, Silas, if you'd like to jump in and help with those funds, I would greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. As Fiscal Officer Batten mentioned, we utilize a lot of these tax funds for our alternate things that aren't necessarily road maintenance. So it could be replacing a plow truck, replacing any of our standard vehicles, road salt, curbs, ramps, storm sewers, all of our ADA requirements. Every time we go to repair a road, we have to bring all the ramps and everything up to current ADA standards. So those funds are stretched in a variety of ways. During years where there's not as many of those alternate expenses, we will save some of that money and utilize it towards maintenance if there's an opportunity to. We'll pave an extra street or an extra court or whatever we can do. But those funds generally are shared elsewhere besides asphalt work.
After further discussions, we're proposing the addition of a 0.5 mil levy to be placed on, whether it be the primary or the general of this year, to help bring additional monies in to help with that shortfall.
And is that a 2-year time frame?
It would be, yes, it would only be for a 2-year time frame. It would run very similar to how you guys handled your deficit with the fire fund. It would coincide with the termination of this existing levy that we have. It would also give us the opportunity to stabilize that maintenance program and then take a closer look and establish a better budgeting and forecasting to be presented for that next levy cycle. One of the things that me and Silas had spoken about, there's really no capital improvement program set up within our revenue sources, and as you guys just voted on today with Bell Canyon, we still have phase 3 that we do not have money for. I know there was talks about, oh gosh, and I'm going to get this road wrong, Parkway? Yeah, another large road improvement program that we just simply do not have the funds for. So with that being said, the 0.5 mil with the new township valuation, that would bring in roughly about $1.1 million in additional revenue per year. So that, with our existing levy, we would bring in roughly about $1.8 million for the remaining amount of the current levy with the additional.
Wait, so it's 1.1 million it would bring in for 1.5 mils?
0.5.
Yes, for the 0.5.
It's just, so we're asking for just 0.5.
Yeah, currently, right now, Lisa, Trustee Knapp, our mill valuation is $2,210,755. So that is with the new evaluations. This would cost our residents, we would be looking at roughly about $17.50 per 100 of market value.
Per year?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a couple other options on the table we could discuss. We do have, if you would be wanting to get something on the ballot for the primary, you could put just whether it be 0.75 mil and vacate the current one. I would prefer us to go the other direction. That way it'll give us an opportunity to fix what we have and come up with a better laid plan so that when we do come time for our next levy cycle, we have established a much better budgeting and forecasting for the 5 years.
And is there a cost for the special election?
Yes, yes. Right now, the state is going, I'm sorry. That's okay. Ohio Public Works Commission will have an issue on the primary. We're looking at probably about half of our normal tax collection fees for a levy, so roughly about $30,000. Now, that doesn't include if there is any other entities or schools or anything else that would go on that would help share those costs.
Mr. Bowers, did you add some additional detail about how far our road levy was able to stretch in 2024, and then how our current millage compares to kind of our surrounding townships?
Yes, sir. Thank you for asking that. A little additional information as well, if it's okay. So our road ranking process is an annual thing. So we have about 112 lane miles of roadway within the township that we visually inspect and rank those roads every year on a scale of 1 to 10. Thankfully, we don't have any roads in the 1 to 2 range because that would be a gravel road, dirt road with holes all over it. So the lowest ranked road we've had in the township during my time here has been about a 3. We have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 120 roads that are ranked 6 or lower. So once they get in the 4, 5, 6 range, well, back up. Once they're in the 6 range, they're on our radar. Once they fall below a 6, when they get to the 5s and the 4s, they get kind of into a dire need where they are either needing holes replaced constantly, mastic, crack seal, maybe there's full depth repairs that have taken place. They're really at the point where they've seen their useful life and they're ready to be replaced. Our hope is that roads will get somewhere, 20, 25 years if maintained properly. And for Orange Township's sake, a lot of our infrastructure was built, 15, 20, 25-ish years ago. So a lot of those things are coming due, which is why we're seeing such a large number of roads that are in that sweet spot right now that they're on our radar, and realizing that our available funding doesn't necessarily match our upcoming needs for the next few years. Looking, just comparing, contrasting with other local townships throughout Delaware County, and even talking with a few of our local cities as well, we have, throughout Delaware County, the most lane miles of any other township. And outside of Berlin Township, who has no roads levy, we have the lowest millage and lowest amount of money coming in for our road maintenance program with the highest amount of mileage. So it was a little eye-opening to me. I don't know the history as well as I need to, but it is eye-opening when we have the most amount of roads and the least amount of funding. So we're definitely on a pace that's going to come to a head at some point. So I appreciate the time the board and Ms. Batten has taken to kind of take a peek at this and figure out how we can sustain the high level of maintenance that our residents come to expect.
How many of those 120 roads rated 6 or worse over the next 3 years do you anticipate we'd be able to repair with our current level of funding?
That's a tough question to answer. On average, we're able to do somewhere around 15 to 20 roads a year if we're able to supplement our existing road levy with a couple of those tax funds if there's money available. This year, in comparison, we are doing about 16, 17 roads, but we had to cut about 21 roads from our program this year that we did not have funding for, that are ready for some sort of level of maintenance.
In 24 or 25?
In 25, I'm sorry. In 24, it was somewhere slightly below that. There's a lot of factors that go into these roads. Some of them, we have some roads off Bale Canyon as an example that are going to need a certain level of maintenance. but it doesn't make sense for the township to invest in those roads until Bale Canyon's done, and then those will be next in line after that if funding's available. So we try to group roads together to get the most bang for our buck, so we're not paying multiple mobilizations. We try to use the curb money and the gutters and the storm sewer money out of other accounts to stretch the road levy farther. But again, it's a nickels and dimes game, and we're trying to stretch them as far as they go, and our staff has done a great job maintaining what we can in-house as well. But yeah, I think this year, my count was correct. I think it was 21 streets that we had to bump off the program for funding.
It seems like it's a pretty widening gap that we're not going to be able to fill, and the proposal we have before us would help fill that gap until we can consider a more sustainable capital plan, improvement plan when the full 0.5 that we currently have is up for renewal. I think just doing some rough back of the envelope map, you pointed this out, Mr. Bowers, but not only do we have the second lowest levy millage, but I think the average of all of those levy millages would probably be around 1.25. So what we're potentially considering here isn't even above average for what's, with our similar situated townships who have less road mileage.
What are the other townships? What's their millage?
It's okay.
They, outside of Berlin, they all vary from 1.2 to a little over 2.
And how long have we had the 0.5? Do you know?
I don't know the history. My understanding is it was combined at one point with the Parks levy, and then at some point it was split. Those are generally questions I would probably ask you about, because you usually have pretty good historical knowledge of those things.
Well,
So
look at the archives.
yeah, you might have more knowledge about that than the rest
Yeah,
of us.
I think it was originally one. I'm trying to remember. I think it was originally maybe 1 mil, but maybe we dropped it back or something. I'll have to look it up. But I thought they were originally, I thought it was 1. And I think when the fire levy was being discussed, maybe we dropped 1 back. But yeah, I'll have to look that up. So why do we have to put it on the primary? Like, I think I'm okay with it, but I would prefer to get some more input from the residents and maybe put it on the fall, because first we'll have to pay for we'll have to pay for part of a special election.
Do we have to pay for that anyway because the OPWC?
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
whoever's on the ballot
Yes.
covers the cost. So if we were not on the ballot, then OPWC would cover a larger percentage of the costs for the special election. Okay.
Yeah, they split it up, so that's an additional cost. Also, I feel like more people come out in general to general elections, and that we would get better, I think we'd have a better idea of how many people would support it or not. Sometimes I feel like putting something on a special election is maybe not the best idea. It doesn't look as good to me. Even though I agree we do need this money, but I think we need to spend some time educating the residents and telling them why we need it. And then, like, I went down when you called discussing, a lot of times you put a levy on the ballot and you don't say what it's for. It's just for roads.
Yes.
And we'd want to tell the residents maybe what our general plans are for which roads in general, like, or we're going to repair 20 extra roads, or something where they know exactly what they're going to get. Like
Or within the language of what we're voting on, is that what you mean?
No, but we would discuss that, like in the
Kind of like
past.
the outreach that we did with the additional fire levy.
And
where
you
we were
don't think
talking
there's
about-
enough time from now until May?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so. Because all these levies, they're new, have been failing lately, And so I think people are really concerned about the economy. A lot of people, their money isn't going as far as it used to be, and this is a very small amount. So you said $17.50 per 100,000, yeah. So,
0.5 mils.
for the extra 0.5 mils, yeah.
I know our communication plan, we would probably be pretty heavily focused on the roads levy for our next mailed-in newsletter if we were to put this on the spring ballot. Yeah, the way the timing works for this is if the board wants it on for May, we need to take action this month.
Right, exactly.
Yes, the deadline for the BOE is February the 5th at 4 p.m. So that's why this was brought up rather abruptly and quickly.
Yeah, I would maybe, I do think it's necessary, but maybe hold off until the general election, because I also would want to get feedback on it. If people are like, oh, no new taxes, maybe it wouldn't be a good idea, but we could put something maybe on social media that says, hey, the trustees are thinking about a 0.5 mil, this is the facts. and see if anyone comments or writes in, and that way, if a lot of people are opposed to it, or most people are like, no big deal. But I know in the past, before, years ago, people would they would request a new levy on the ballot and not say what it was for. And then people would look at our balances and be like, well, you have 6 million in there, and they'd say, well, it's all, already planned. But if we actually laid out a fairly specific plan, this is basically to improve 15 new roads a year approximately. Something, at least a verbal statement or commitment of exactly why we're doing it. We're not just asking for more money to fix roads. I think people are holding elected officials more accountable for how we're spending money and asking for it.
And if it's on the ballot in May versus November, there's no difference as far as when we can collect, because we wouldn't start collecting until next year, is that correct?
That is
26?
correct,
Okay.
yeah.
Would it be effective, so it would be effective next year or effective this year, collected next year?
If this year collected next year. Is that correct? Is that how they had it said?
So it's retroactive, kind of, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so the one thing that would be nice about the spring ballot is if it were to fail, then it would give us an opportunity to reassess it, and you would have that second opportunity then to hit the general in November. That deadline would be August, I wrote that down.
Early
something.
August.
Yeah, early August. So we would definitely have time to regroup. Unfortunately, right now, this one I feel is trying to fix a problem that is continually, it's just getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
Obviously, what Silas said, that the amount of roads that are just getting bypassed, it's just going to continue to get worse and worse.
Yes, but if it passes now or November, we still collect the same amount of money from the same
That
year,
is
right?
correct, yes.
And I feel like if it did fail for some reason, it means that we weren't able to educate people soon enough about it, and we don't really have a lot of time with this, and we're fresh off of numerous levy failures in the county. And I think once people see if the economy gets better, when we have a new federal administration coming in, people, I think, will be more comfortable once things are more settled. I know it's in May, but I would just like to get more input. And we cannot use this on trails, correct? It's just roads only.
Correct. Our trails are funded out of our parks levy and grants.
If the school district has a levy on the ballot, which I know they will at some point, but I do not know the timing. Is anybody up on that?
I would think that if they were going to
Westerville's
be
doing
on
something.
November of 2025, that we would have heard something by now,
Okay.
but.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
maybe
Does anyone
that's-
know what the plans are?
I listen to school board meetings and I have not heard, at least not
Yeah,
that
they were
sticks in
gonna
my
come back
brain.
to the ballot, I think, but-
Whether, I don't think they'll be on, I have not heard that they're gonna be on in May. I don't know if they will make a decision to be on in November or not. I can reach out to my contacts.
Yeah, it's a pretty small amount per year, but just so my taxes went up, I think, a couple $100 a month, just from the new valuations and maybe a new levy. But are we gonna have any extra money in the general fund that could help pay for this because of the
That
triennial
worries me. That
valuation?
worries me.
Yeah, just with some of our other, quite frankly, we've been using the general fund for our capital expenses. So, this levy is really just to keep up with our maintenance program. Maybe in the future, that could be a conversation with the general fund, but with our big projects that we're funding it out of, I would be hesitant.
Our general fund pays for all of your maintenance employees. It pays their salaries and it pays all of their burden. So yes, the general fund does take a huge hit with regards to your roads.
But how much more money are we getting? When was that effective? Last year, the new valuation of properties that caused everyone to pay, higher taxes last year? Do you know how much more money we're getting in the general fund now after
That was
that?
approximately $1 million inside,
Yeah,
Is it an extra million? Okay.
yeah.
from inside millage. I'm fine with, having this be on the general ballot and having the opportunity to get some additional resident feedback. I think, as it's been said, it doesn't, for collection purposes, it doesn't matter which ballot it's on this year, just as long as it is on a ballot this year to help with the gap in 2026. And I think, not having to potentially share in ballot cost is a positive when we're looking to, be as efficient as possible with the tax dollars that we request, and I don't know that even if the school district were to put their ballot issue on the November ballot, and it wasn't looked on favorably, that, you know, a request for 0.5 mils in road millage that would be a roughly $17.50 for every $100,000 in value would be that much of a, it'd probably be a pretty stark contrast from what the school district would be asking.
That might be advantageous then.
Yeah, that's my only
30
concern,
mils.
is if we were on the same as the school district, and do we have a concern with that? And if we don't have a concern, then I am fine with.
Yeah, if
waiting till
if
November.
someone was more likely just to vote no and everything, yes, but if it looks really small compared to the school
And
district.
to Trustee Knapp's point, I mean, you will, even if school or general, anything on the general election, you'll have a bigger turnout, so we'll
Right.
really understand who is supportive of
If the
this.
community wants it or not.
Yeah, I think special elections, they're just kind of, I don't feel like the reputation of special elections, especially lately, has been very good. So I would think that would be for an emergency, more of an emergency purpose, like for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying with regards to that. Oh, I'm sorry. I get what you're saying with regards to that. But when you have, it would give you that opportunity to get that feel for the community. And then having that second opportunity to go to the ballot if it were to fail.
But once it fails, it's very hard to not fail the next time, you know, it really is.
Now, when you guys passed the additional fire levy, were you on with the school district as well?
No.
Was that the same time frame?
We've been
Okay.
intentional to not be
Not
on
be.
at the same time as the school district. And if the opportunity to fail is at a cost of $30,000 or whatever our portion of the election fees are, so that's
Yes.
it's not a free.
Well, now, there's another caveat here, too. The end of December, George Kaitza, our county auditor, he refunded us tax collection fees in excess of $100,000. So that was awarded to, Orange Township had received
Yeah.
it, Chino Township, Liberty. Yeah, so that did help negate some of our election expenses.
Yeah, I saw that in the paper. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's great.
So if the board wants to potentially postpone placing this matter until the November ballot, would we table the resolution that we have before us? Okay. Any additional discussion?
No. If you guys would rather wait, I'm fine with waiting.
And maybe wait a couple months and then maybe start to talk about it on social media, maybe
Yeah,
till
I'm thinking
spring.
more like our summer newsletter will probably start getting the word out.
Yeah,
I
but
think-
maybe in advance though, so we can get people's opinions.
Sure.
like, about it.
So like
March or,
March?
yeah, maybe March, just get people to kind of like, start talking about the reasons why we need it, what we plan to do with the money, how much money we'll raise, and, specifically, you know, like I said, why we need it, and maybe how it compares to the other townships. I
Okay.
like all that.
Mhm.
And,
Take pictures of our roads that need help, post them with them.
We can have an outreach plan.
yeah,
in
and then if
place.
people are just totally opposed to it, we'd have to figure something out, or have more education.
Yeah.
Well, we've also been limping along for a couple of years, so we might be able to limp along another 2 years, but it would be, you know, pretty dramatic, that the increase that we would potentially need in 2 years.
Yeah, yeah, and explain also that all of our roads are aging because we had all those new subdivisions built, and that's kind of a special exception. If you have a more established city or township, usually a city, they kind of need about the same amount every year, but all of a sudden, we have all these roads that are aging because of all the developments we approved 10 or 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's kind of a special circumstance, too. So we're going to just hold off on that.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Board.
Do I need to make a motion to table it? Okay.
No, just know that
Change all
the
the
resolution number will be 29 for the following one.
Do some mental math.
Yes.
Looks like our next agenda item is our administration report.
Yes, thank you. I do have a handful of items. The first one is accepting the inventory reports. That's an annual inventory we have to file with the county. So that is in front of you. We did work with all the departments to update that accordingly. The next agenda item is amending our purchasing policy, as the board thankfully just made the decision to promote Sydney to our communications and special events manager position. We would like to give her similar purchasing powers as the other department heads, so we needed to amend that policy. Following that, a new policy that we've been working on is staff and volunteers a hospitality room. This is something that we would wanted to offer to our dedicated volunteers, just to provide refreshments and snacks during our key events. And according to legal, we needed a policy for that, so that's in front of you. Following that, we do have an amendment to our records retention policy. We've been taking a very close look of how we are handling our personnel files and needed to provide some clarification in our retention schedule. So that's the biggest change. We did also add a records retention schedule for telephone messages because we did not have that before. And I think we had to clean up some of the retention schedule under the fiscal department, but that was just more of a clear. There was a line item for CARES and COVID reporting, but that can all be encompassed in fiscal reporting in general. So we just kind of consolidated that. I'll just keep going. The next policy is an update to our 2007 policy regarding substance abuse. So we have been working on this for a while. It is ready to be adopted today, as we have tentatively negotiated it as part of the fire contract. But we want this policy to be adopted for all township employees. So that is updated, and that's really to address CBD, just the world we live in. There's new drugs out there that were not addressed in the 07 policy. And then lastly, under administration report, we would like to amend the community volunteer board bylaws for a few things, really to clarify what subcommittees we are actively have. We wanted to replace the special projects subcommittee with a veterans subcommittee, so that would be for any veterans-related activities or events that we want to do within the township. And then Public Safety Committee was actually not in there in the original bylaws, so we do have a Public Safety Committee that we added on that. And then we also looked at dissolving the Land Use Zoning Committee, and that's one is because we do have our Board of Zoning Appeals and our Zoning Commission members that are appointed volunteers within the township that help with our zoning code, our comp plan updates. So we didn't think the subcommittee at that level was necessary, especially because we wanted to have a veteran subcommittee, and it just unfortunately didn't find a consistent use for that subcommittee, which as opposed to the other committees that we have that are actively involved. And that is all I have. I know that was a lot, so if you have any questions, let me know.
With the zoning subcommittee that is being dissolved, if we, say yes on that today, will we reach out to the current members and offer them?
Yeah.
Would you be interested in serving on one of our other committees?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
can you remind us how members of the community, if they want to participate in these volunteer committees, how they can go about expressing their interest?
I was reviewing the website.
Okay.
You
Well,
can look on
go
our
ahead.
Orange Township website and under, somewhere on there, it totally says it. Under employment, yes, and then there's community volunteer board and subcommittees, and you scroll down at the bottom of the page. So, yes, that's how.
And we'll do we always, throughout the year, we'll do various pushes depending on the committees, but we'll probably do a little bit of a heavier push on the veterans subcommittee since that's new, to see who wants to be involved. And
we'll reach out to the members of our special projects committee, which did our Veterans
Yes.
Memorial,
Yeah.
and ask them if they would like to continue to be involved and
Right.
just morph into this new titled committee.
Any other discussion on the administration report?
Is the record retention schedule, is that in here somewhere?
Yeah.
yes.
It is.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I forgot to say, if the board approves the amendment of the records retention schedule, I would like to schedule a meeting with the fiscal officer and the chair to review the files that we would be ready to dispose. And then with the updated retention schedule and then the the RC3, the list of records to dispose, we would have to send it to the Ohio History Connection for their approval and keep things moving and cleaning.
Sounds good.
I do not have any other questions.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2529, accepting inventory reports as annual inventory and directing the Township Administrator to file copies with the Township Fiscal Officer.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2530, resolution to amend and adopt a purchasing policy.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. I make a motion to approve Resolution 2531, resolution to approve certain expenditures of public funds for purchasing food and non-alcoholic beverages for officials, staff, and volunteers at Orange Township community events.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2532, resolution amending Township record retention policy.
Second?
Sorry, guys. Trustee Faust?
Mhm.
Trustee Knapp?
Yes?
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2533, approve and adopt the substance abuse policy.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2534, amending and approving the volunteer board bylaws.
Second?
Roll call, trustee Knapp.
Yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringle?
Yes. I don't believe we have any old business, but we do have 2 items under the new business.
Yes, so really the only item here under new business is to designate Ms. Valerie Bunting, our administrative manager, to be the designee for the trustees' public records training. Now, everybody's welcome to do that, but we just like to formalize and have as one person, Val does it annually, yes? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good, really good with that.
Really?
Thank you, Val.
Yeah, thank you.
We
Val.
appreciate that.
Sacrifice.
And just to clarify with this resolution, this would also allow for the fiscal officer to designate Ms. Bunting as her designee as well, correct?
That's what I'm looking right now.
Oh, it says members of the board.
Looks like the board is called out in the
Should we
body of the
add, and the
resolution.
fiscal officer?
And township fiscal officer.
So, and the be it further resolved, or,
Yeah.
no, wait, okay, so you want to also put it in the third paragraph where it says, name the designee of all members of the trustees.
Yes.
Do we need to put it
Yeah,
in there
well,
too?
so, right, so the title of the resolution will be Val, Administrative Manager as designee by Board of Township Trustees and Township Fiscal Officer for Public Records Training, and then we'll update it in paragraph 3, to your point.
So the title doesn't need to
Right.
change, but we'll change the resolution body.
Yeah, chapter trustees.
Wait, no, the title wouldn't need to change, I don't think. Because we're naming her the administrative manager, we are naming her.
It wouldn't hurt to include it. Yeah.
But how would that
Depends on how you read
word?
it, as designee by Board of Township Trustees and fiscal officer.
I see.
For
what
public
you're
Yeah,
records
okay,
training.
designate, or are we, so.
It is also technically the board designating her as designee, and in the resolution, we're also
Yeah.
designating on behalf of the fiscal
Yes,
officer. So I
designate.
get your point.
Yeah.
Right, so, administrative designee, but on behalf of Board of Trustees and Fiscal Officer, or is the board, how, Board of Township Trustees,
So the trustees are taking this action, but we can, in the description, we can include the fiscal officer.
okay,
So
yeah,
don't
because
change the title.
yeah, I wouldn't change it, because you could,
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't do that.
yeah, as
Oh,
designee.
right.
Yeah, and then put it in those sections in the,
But I do greatly appreciate it.
Of course.
okay, I'm glad you.
I didn't want
noticed
to take away the joy of a 3-hour public
It's really
records
fun.
training from you,
Done a
but.
couple. Great.
I will most likely still do it, but yes,
Yes.
thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2535, name Valerie Bunting, Administrative Manager, as designee by Board of Township Trustees for Public Records Training.
it. Second,
Roll call, trustee Knapp.
yes?
Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringel?
Yes. Any other business to come before the board?
Not at this time.
All right, then I will make a motion, Resolution 2536, meeting adjournment.
Second?
Roll call. Trustee Faust?
Yes.
Trustee Ringel?
Yes.
Trustee Knapp?